So, earlier today, March 24th, 2023, over in Melbourne. Oh, wait, how do you pronounce it, BJ?
Melbourne,
Melbourne. All right.
Melbourne.
Australia, former WBO champion Joseph Parker defeated a Django Opelu, Samoan fighter in on a $60 main event Australian Fox Sports pay-per-view. Highlights of the card, well, featured performances on the card. We have here the only name that I really knew of was Joseph Parker, Nikita Zoo versus Benjamin Bomber, and Ben Horn. So first, where do we start? Well, Joseph Parker versus Django. First round stoppage.
Yeah, I didn't think. Well, I mean, unfortunately, that turned out to be a one-sided mismatch.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I thought it would have gone a little bit longer than that. But I mean, what? Parker had a 10-kilo weight advantage, height, reach, skill. He's a far more. His resume is far better than
Yeah.
Django's. I mean, Parker's a former world champion who's fought some of the best fighters in the world, and Django's a domestic level fighter.
Yeah, so
So
looking at I just showed the knockout there or the stoppage there, but Joseph Parker now 32-3 with 22 KOs, 31 years old, 6'4", weighing at 240 pounds for this fight, down 5 pounds from his last fight against Jack Mossy back in January of this year, and down 10 pounds, 15 pounds since he fought Joe Joyce last September. So he's had big fights against Andy Ruiz, Huey Fury, Anthony Joshua, Dylan White, Junior Five, both two fights with Derek Chisora and Joe Joyce. So for his age at 31, he's had a hell of a resume. But the question is now, this was just a stay busy fight for him. He fought in January, so he actually has a chance to get another fight this year. So he's actually been busy. So he's staying busy, keeping his name in the rankings. But the question is, with the heavyweight landscape being what it is right now, who does he fight next? He's currently ranked number 6 by the WBO, number 12 by the IBF. He is not ranked by the WBA he's number 10 by the WBC. Personally, me, if he can get Otto Wallin, Frank Sanchez, I'm trying to think of fights that can politically happen. Hell, I mean, I would even somewhat, I doubt it would happen, entertain him versus Gerald Miller. Or if Tyson Fury doesn't fight Demsey McKean, then why not Joseph Parker? Because right now he has to build his way back up to try to get a title shot, because the titles are all held up by Alexander Usyk, with the WBA, IBF, WBO, and the WBC being held by Tyson Fury, and they're heavily rumored to be fighting in this winter later this year in Saudi Arabia. But who do you think Joseph Parker should fight, or who would you want to see him fight? You even got Luis Ortiz out
I
there.
mean, yeah, I wouldn't know about him. I mean, I'd like to see him fight Jay Lee Zhang, but I think he needs another fight before he does that.
Okay. Yeah, because he's still got some time to build some things up. He's only 31 years old, especially with the title shots all being held up right now. But I mean, what else can you tell me about the event? I mean, it ended in one round. What else can you tell me about the fight before we move on to the rest of the event?
Well, not much. I mean, we always were questioning why this was a pay-per-view event in the first place, and obviously Joseph Parker was, the reason, and Tyson Fury coming down, which was why it was a main event card. Otherwise, it probably just would have been a Fox sports show.
Mm-hmm.
But there's nothing more I can tell you about the fight, because as we originally said, it wasn't even supposed to be this card. It was supposed to be headlined by Harry Garside back in March. So things have been a little awry, and this was obviously here's a date they needed to fill it, and they got the best available talent in the nose that they had. So
okay.
So I mean, still to get Joseph Parker in Australia, in Melbourne, headlining the card, that's a pretty big deal for No Limit.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
to get Tyson Fury here, I mean, I know people who would have paid $60 for that would have not been happy. I mean, we've always said there's no really any car that's worth $60 in the first place.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got to look at the positives and the stroke that No Limit has. Getting massive names to turn up on their cards. That's just going to lead to another big show. So,
And
I know people would not.
And Tyson Fury was there. You were saying that, and it's come out also on online on social media that he's looking at a potential fight with Demsey McKean over there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, from what he told me, he's going to Brisbane today to scope out Suncorp Stadium to see if that could be a potential venue for that fight. But that fight came out of nowhere. I mean, when they mentioned it the other day at the weigh-in, I'm like, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
That was completely out of the blue. So, yeah, I thought, how did Demsey McKean's name get even mentioned? Because isn't he still fighting? Isn't he still matchroom fighting?
Well, who knows? We might not. Maybe he had like a 3-fight deal or whatever, and Eddie Hearn couldn't. I mean, who knows? Because Tyson Fury is a ESPN here in the States and the BT Sport Boxing over in UK territories. So for him to fight Demsey McKean, you would think that he would have to negotiate with Eddie Hearn, but who knows? We haven't seen Demsey McKean in a while, so we don't know what's going on with him.
That's right. And he actually lives over in England now, so that's probably why his name was mentioned. So,
but yeah, it's a fight that really doesn't make too much sense for me, for Tyson Fury, because it's, of all the fighters you can fight, like Demsey McKean really, and as I'm looking right now at the rankings, Demsey McKean is not even ranked by the WBC anywhere.
Exactly what.
So I'm not saying that he might not pop up in the rankings, but he's not even ranked.
Well, that's right. I mean, what I don't know. I mean, everyone says Fury's running from Usyk, Usyk's running from Fury. I think that's just as bad as each other, to be honest. So,
I don't concern myself with that fight until at least we know they're actually going to do something, because right now, they've been trying to get that fight done for close to a year now. But
exactly. It's like those other things. Believe it when you see it.
Yeah. Another fight, the co-main event, Nikita Tszyu versus Benjamin Bomber. How did Nikita look?
Yes, he looked good, but he got caught there. In the early rounds, I was standing next to another media member. He goes, I can smell an upset. And Nikita actually got caught. He was leading with his face, and Ben got him with a right cross a couple of times. You're like, ooh, look out.
And it's not the first time he's been caught, right?
Yeah, no, it's not the first time he's been caught, because Ben Horn caught him in their fight as well. So, I mean, but Southpaws, their defense, they always seem to lead with their face. And he was leading with his face. He got caught a couple of times. He was open for that right cross. The lead left jab, the right cross he was open for all night. But then, obviously, Nikita hit him, and that turned the tables, and Ben went down, and so did the ref. And, so I don't think I've ever seen that before. A ref tackle, didn't tackle him. He was protecting him, and he fell. So I don't think I've ever seen a ref go down with a fighter falling on top of him. So
yeah, he's got some things he's got to definitely got some things he's got to work on. Who else on the card stuck out to you? Who would you give the performance of the night to?
Oh, that's a hard one. Because all these, I think I'd have to say Nikita, because that fight with Ben Bomber was 50-50. People were going, I don't know which way to go on that one. Where most of the others, they were pretty much, it's pretty much they already know who were going to, they were going to win. They knew who was going to win. I think Ben Horn has to get credit for his fight, because he did extremely well against Joel Taylor. So, toss up between Ben Horn and Nikita Tszyu. So I think those two really put.
What was the atmosphere like? It looked, from what I was able to see, it looks like it was buzzing a little bit.
Mate, it was. The roof could have come off that place. It would have. It was ridiculous.
Really?
Mate, it was like the problem is that they can't really showcase what the atmosphere is like on camera.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where you actually had to be there. I mean, you couldn't pick up what the atmosphere was like sitting at home watching it on TV. Because even we were at the back watching the monitors, on TV it doesn't tell the full story.
Yeah.
It doesn't tell the full story. So no, the atmosphere is absolutely ridiculous. Everyone was having a great time. Obviously people were following Fury around like a bad smell. Plus
Yeah.
everyone else, but no, the atmosphere and the production value and what they did, how they did it, and how they showcased the show was, absolutely brilliantly. I mean,
And you had
they certainly know how to put on a show.
Adesanya there. You had Alexander Volkanovski there, and Tyson Fury. So it was and Tim Tszyu was there as well. Star-studded event.
Exactly. I mean, for a club show style fight, I mean, how many celebrities? Yeah, you couldn't get any bigger of a crowd, or bigger stature of celebrities to a fight like that. So.
All right, so the next card is going to be on June 18th between Tim Tszyu and Carlos Ocampo. I'm only imagining, of course, that's going to be a much bigger event. We're going to be building up to that. But closing thoughts on this card before we go?
No, good card. I mean, obviously, people have paid $60 for it. Be like, because there was a lot of one-sided fights in there, but that's boxing. So, but no limit put on another good show. It was a great show, and I'm looking forward to Tim's fight on June 18th.
Yeah, and also good for Joseph Parker to getting back down to the weight that he was being successful at 240 pounds instead of ballooning up to 250, 255, and nearly 260 pounds. It's good to see him noticing that was slowing him down. You can follow Big J at Old Mate Big J on Twitter. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. You can follow me at TstreeTCONTROVERSY on Twitter and, of course, here on YouTube as well. We're going to be starting to build up for Tim Tszyu versus Carlos Ocampo soon. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And if you're not following the Fight View 360 Boxing Podcast on all of your listening platforms, the links are down below in the description box.